What's up, BookTube? Sandy Golston back here with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about an interesting topic that's crossed my mind a few times. And it's crossed my mind with the book that I'm reading right now. And I'll probably talk a little bit more about this when I do my wrap up for the month of July. And so the topic is the difference between books that are maybe a little bit bland versus books that are boring. And I feel like for me, there's a significant difference between a book that's bland and a book that's boring. So when I think of I'll start with boring. When I think of a boring book, I think of a book that's just probably got a lot of info dumping in it. The characters are just not grabbing me. There's just really nothing for me to sink my teeth into, and I'm giving it a try and giving it a try and giving it try after try. I'm putting it down, picking it up after a day or two, a week, and then I put it back down again, and then I maybe pick it up a day or two or a week later, and it's still just not hooking me. No matter how many times I give it a try, it's just not doing it for me. And I've heard somebody say once before, life is too short to waste on a book that you're just not feeling. Understandable, and something that I actually agree with more and more, though the competitor in me sometimes hates to give up on a book, especially if I think that I'm giving up on the book just simply too soon. That being said, when you have a book that's just not grabbing you, you're just not able to sink your teeth into anything, whether it's a familiar setting, a place that you are familiar with or you want to be familiar with, or there's some element of it. Maybe it's a sport that you enjoy, or the person is an entertainer of some kind, like a musician, and you really like the music industry. There's something you can really grab onto, latch onto. But when it's absent that, and you're not really connecting with the characters, whether you love to love them or you love to hate them, that to me is when I start to think of boring book. When I think about what a bland book is, bland for me is where there's something that I'm interested with as far as the story is concerned. And the book that I'm reading right now, while it's slow moving, it might go into the category of boring, except that I'm really interested in the characters. And I'm really interested, in particular, the main character of this book and what's going to happen with her, what her background is to get her to the point that she was at where the book started, to where I think it's headed by the end of the book. So I'm really interested in this character. I'm really intrigued by this character. And so that's what's helping me persevere through this book, which could, again, otherwise be considered boring for me. So bland is, I got the character that's hooking me. Then there's an interest in something that defines this character, something that she is known for. And so that sports angle is another thing that was intriguing to me, and the reason that I ended up picking it as my book choice for book of the month. So having that compelling character, having the sports angle, I was kind of like, well, this is sounded a little bit interesting to me, so I'm going to go ahead and take the plunge and give this one a try. And then as I started reading it, while the story is moving a little bit slower than I would prefer, I'm hooked for two reasons. One, I really like the main character. I'm really interested in what is going to happen with her, where she's been, where she is, and where she's going. Secondly, they're really doing, the writer is doing a pretty good job, even though it's taken a long time. The writer's doing a pretty good job of teasing that there could be something really big coming down the line. And so while there hasn't been as much foreshadowing as I would prefer to really keep me going, which is something, again, that would make me otherwise put it in the classification as boring. Because I like the character, I'm going to stick with it probably through to the end. But I do wish there was a little bit more foreshadowing, but I'm willing to forgive that, again, because I have compelling characters. That takes it from boring and puts it into the more bland category. So tell me what you think. Bland or boring? What are the differences to you? What is something where you look at it and you say, man, I would drop this book, except for what makes you not drop that book? Even if it's one little thing and that book is hanging on by a shoestring, what is it that keeps you reading? And for me, typically it's the characters, or there's some really good foreshadowing of something really powerful that I'm sensing is going to happen at the end. So let me know what you think. Stay with me on this journey through BookTube. Really enjoying doing these videos and enjoying the interactions that seem to be increasing with some of the people who are subscribers. So thank you to the subscribers, and look forward to hopefully adding more subscribers, building even more of a sense of community. I also enjoy engaging with my fellow booktubers. There's so many great booktubers out there. I would definitely encourage you to search YouTube and look and find some of those great booktubers that are doing great stuff. Especially sweet when you can find booktubers who are talking about the kind of books that you like. But at the same time, it's also cool to talk, or I should say to watch and follow and engage with booktubers who maybe are reading things different than what you might read, because it might expand your mind a little bit, maybe broaden your palette, your reading interest, so maybe you can discover new authors, new books, new genres that are appealing to you.